Sebastian Zorni from Channel 9 News. This just in off the grill, exclusive news interview with Dr. Arlene Grant-Holcomb by our award-winning nutrition news team. Off to them.
Paige Livingston as Hot Dog. Sasha Basharan as Carrot. Madeline Prather as Hamburger.
Sebastian Zorn as Corn.
You've been analyzing food your whole life. Now it's time for food to analyze you.
Carrot. Yes. Carrot here reporting from Crop 4 News. What was your biggest learning experience in your dietetic internship?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So my dietetic internship was at a big teaching hospital in San Francisco at the University of California. And the unique thing about UCSF is it's the only UC campus that's devoted completely to medical professions. So they don't have a traditional undergraduate campus or curriculum. It's all nursing students, medical, dental, pharmacy, physical therapy, and then they have the dietetic internship. So that's a little groundwork. I think the biggest thing for me was that I came from a small town, I went to college in a small town, and suddenly I found myself in a metropolitan area in the city. And I'll never forget, I lived 13 blocks from the hospital, and I would walk to and all of our rotations were at the hospital, at the med center. And I would walk, and it didn't matter if it was 4 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night if I was done. And finally I remember somebody saying to me, "You shouldn't be out walking the streets of San Francisco by yourself at 10 o'clock at night." But that was not something that I ever had to worry about before then. So that was a big learning experience for me, that suddenly there was kind of a bigger world, and I had to be looking out for that. As a dietitian, it completely took everything that I learned in all of the same classes that you all are taking right now and helped me to integrate it into something that I could use throughout my career in practice. And so it was really that turning point for me professionally that helped it to all come together. So it was important on a lot of different levels. Okay, so hot dog.
Dr. Grant, time to catch up to the big news. What knowledge or experience from your dietetic internship has most influenced the way you teach?
I think the appreciation and the recognition of diversity. Some of you I haven't had you for 121 for a little while, but if any of you that I have had recently, you might remember that I'm always talking about like the price of food. And I tell the story about my friend whose mother scraped the chicken fat off the chicken stock and spread it on her bread. And those are things that many of the students here, I can tell by the faces of the students in 121, when I ask them if you've ever cut up a chicken or if you know what the price of a chicken is, they're normally not in tune with that because they're not on as tight of a budget as someone that might be living on food stamps or might be living in a more ethnically diverse community than Cal Poly is. So, and that was something that I really came to appreciate when I was an intern living in San Francisco. So I think that probably is the thing that I bring most consistently to classes. Corn, you have a question for me?
Dr. Grant-Holcomb, Mr. Copier from the Corn Daily News. How have your skills as an RD helped you in the teaching world?
I don't think I would be teaching if I wasn't an RD. I think that our profession in dietetics includes, as you know, clinical practice, it includes community practice, and it includes food service related practice. And I've had the privilege of working in all of those areas. And I don't think I would have kind of the material and the practical experience to teach a foods class or to teach a food service management class. I haven't taught clinical here because that's not my strongest area, but I could if I had to. But I think it's those practical skills that help you as an instructor to take that thick, lots of text material that shows up in a textbook and help to make it practical and be able to share it with the student.
Thank you so much.
Is that good?
Yes.
Awesome. What a great menu you guys are.
And that's a wrap. A vegetable wrap. Until next time, Cal Poly.
Thank you. I relish the opportunity to answer this question.
Ask a question.
Madeline Prather. Oh.
Go ahead, smile. You've been analyzing food your whole life. Now it's time
for food.
Sorry, my bad. Okay.